All right. Get. Oh my God. This motherfucker. Whatever. I'm keeping that in.
Kill yourself. Thank you.
No, there's more audio coming in. What the hell are you doing? Oh, you're streaming, Lisa. Okay. Uh, hello everyone. I'm your host, Emilio. These are your co-hosts, Aaron, Fiora, and Robert. Say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Hello, everyone.
You don't need to do it twice.
I was doing it for Aaron.
Aaron already said it. Fiora is the one who has not.
Oh.
What?
Okay, never mind.
Good
Never mind.
podcast. Good podcast.
Hello, everyone.
This is episode
Hello, my headphones are very tiny.
Are we on
I may
6?
have hearing problems.
You may have problems.
Yes, I will also have problems in general.
Understandable. Yeah, this is episode 6.
Yeah, episode 6 of Hellish Brain Activity.
Hellish
I almost
brain activity.
instinctually called this the HPMOR podcast. I do not know why. Uh, anyway, today we're talking about Lisa Part 2. The game doesn't really have like defined parts, so Aaron is giving it to us, but this is our second time doing Lisa stuff, so that's why it's Part 2. Um,
I'm Lisa Stuff.
yeah. And we were supposed to record this like last weekend, but everyone was busy. We did not have time, so we're doing it now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what happens in this. So where we left off was like, fuck, where did we leave off with Lisa?
After you got the bicycle.
Oh yeah, we got a bicycle. We beat up some like weird monster guy, and we got a
Mhm.
bicycle. And then in this part, we travel around with the bicycle. We get explosive materials, and we get a car. So that's cool. I'm not summing this up well because I'm not really trying. Aaron?
Okay, fine. So this continues to follow Brad, the protagonist, his search for his daughter in a world where it's just men, right? So he hears that she's being like hidden in this factory, so he takes his bike, he goes over into the factory, um and inside, like after he beats up these like guys, there's not the girl, it's just like this truck driver that they have been like allowing people to sexually abuse.
Yeah.
And so he takes the truck driver dude with him. He's like, hey, you're safe now. And the guy's like, thanks, I guess. And like this allows him to like reach the next area. So then after that he finds his one of his friends, Rick, who gets like weirdly evasive when he's asking him about his daughter, because and eventually like, and he also like punches him. So
Beats him to fucking
yeah,
death is more
yeah,
accurate.
so no, Rick punches Brad first. So Brad like ties Rick to this pole and like beats him the fuck up. And Rick's like, no, you can't look for her. She like belongs to the world now. Like, um, the world has greater things to worry about than your silly family. So like Brad just beats him the fuck to death, even though like eventually he relents and tells Brad where she is.
Yeah.
And then after that, he meets Buzzo again, who offers Brad a choice between cutting off his arm or taking away one of his party members and killing that party member. And then after that, Brad is kidnapped by like a bunch of like Russian roulette guys who like force him to play Russian roulette with his party members. And then you arrive in Area 2, where
You do some exploring.
yeah, you do some exploring. Basically, like the search for the girl becomes like less like pressing right now. It's more about just like exploring like weird areas and things that are going on. So we explore like a swamp with like um, this like big house with like cross dressers. Um, we explore this construction area where we get the TNT and kill a bunch of construction workers
Based.
and football players. How?
Based. It's
And
even more based because they're football players. I'm sorry,
What?
I shouldn't say that. I didn't
How
say
does that
anything.
make any sense at all?
I think you should keep going.
Okay, and we also meet the Salvation Rangers, who are like the Power Rangers, except they're stupid.
Except bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and also we find this dojo with this tiger guy who's been beating up everyone. And um, oh yeah, we find this one place with like these fish people, and you take this map from them, and they put you in Fishman Court. So yeah, basically like it's disorganized, it's silly.
It's very
It's
silly.
also like kind of sad at some points because your guys are getting killed.
Yeah. So I forgot to mention this last time, but I didn't exactly like pay attention to what our currency was until this part, and I was like, oh, it's porn.
Yeah, the currency in this game is porn.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was like gun magazines.
Gun magazines?
Yeah.
I don't. Are those real?
Like a magazine of like bullets, not more like a
Oh.
magazine about
Oh. I thought you meant like a fashion magazine, but with guns.
guns quarterly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
Oh.
think I assumed at first that it was like magazines of bullets as well, and then I was thinking about it and I'm like, I only have one guy that I met that like has a gun, so it's probably not that.
Hmm.
So so yeah, so that was the first thing I wanted to say because I didn't like catch on to it last time. I started this segment by backtracking a bunch now that I had the bike. Did any of you guys do that?
No.
Mm, a bit, yeah. But there's like a bunch of pretty difficult areas in like the first area to begin with anyway, and it just doesn't really make too much sense to actually tackle them until you get the bike.
Hmm.
Yeah. There were just like a few spots I remembered where I was like, I couldn't get there before because I couldn't jump. So now that I had the bike, I went back. I remember like finding this. I was like in a cliff, and I found this guy who's like playing his brass instrument of
Yes.
unspecified nature. Trumpet. Okay, I wasn't sure which one it was because I don't know those instruments like that. And he fucking. This game has a lot of moments that are like low key jump scares for me
Hmm.
because I have no idea what to expect. So like I saw this guy and then I take a step and the music immediately cuts and he's staring directly at me and then nothing else happens and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I couldn't figure out a way to get to that guy if there is one in this segment.
There isn't one.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. Cause yeah, I was
Also,
like,
the thing that's implied is that he is playing the music of the area.
yeah, no, I did pick up on that. That's what made me like curious about get like trying to get to him, but then I just couldn't.
Hmm.
And then in my backtracking, I also found the squirrel guy, Beastborn, I think he's called.
Yeah.
That was a weird segment. I have a few questions about that guy because it says that he was raised by animals and he also doesn't have any real dialogue. But there's a sign outside of like the entrance to his area that says no humans allowed. So who the fuck wrote that sign? I'm choosing to believe for now that it was the squirrels and not him,
Right.
which has terrifying implications of its own, but it makes more sense than him having written it.
Hmm.
And then yeah, the his theme is cool. I liked his fight theme. I think it was like unironically the first like piece of battle music that I was just like, yeah, this is good, and not just like I enjoy this ironically because of its silly nature. And that guy seemed to be like a pretty good teammate too. My team actually like changed a bunch during this segment. Do you guys know what you guys are like using right now?
um,
Mm.
I got like I think I have like um yeah, I think it's Beastborn and then Percy, the boomerang guy, the spider guy. And
The
then
who?
you
Oh,
know the
Spider
guy,
Guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
The
Dick,
guy.
the Pink Ranger.
Oh, you can get him?
Yeah, he's in the construction area. You gotta go down at this certain point.
What the
Oh,
hell?
okay. I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so when I went backtracking, I went and picked up Rage, and then I got Beastborn. So I think my team was like, Brad, obviously, Rage, Beastborn, and Olan, because I got rid of Terry and Nern.
Mhm.
Uh,
I
and
forgot who these
then,
people are.
okay, Rage is the fucking, he's the wrestler
Killer
dude.
with the red
Okay, I
mask.
remember that guy.
Nern is the wife guy. Terry is tutorial man, and Olan is the guy with a bow.
You had the tutorial guy until now?
Yeah, I had the tutorial. He's good support, dude. I'm telling you, he's good support.
No.
You wouldn't know. You killed him.
He supports the story by dying.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. That is what you made him do. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, I had that as my team for a bit, and then I forgot where I dropped Rage, but I stopped using Rage like pretty soon after I got him. He just, I don't know, he felt like not great. I gotta admit, I was turned off when I realized he didn't use TP because I thought he did.
Oh
Toilet
yeah.
paper?
What was that?
Toilet paper? Yeah, that's kind of
Okay.
gross.
Yeah.
And then my team changed a few other times for reasons I'll get into later, but I think my final team right now is uh, Brad, Olan, the drunk guy that you can pick up at the
Oh,
bar,
Birdie.
yeah, and Tiger Man.
How do you get? How do you get the tiger? How do you get the whiskey guy?
You go to the area with the Tiger Man, and then you go to the shop that you're supposed to buy the map that you can't find, and then you can buy some whiskey from that guy too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You just yeah. I think the whiskey guy's in the cave to the dojo.
I found the whiskey
Yeah.
guy. I just don't know how to get whiskey to him.
You need to get somewhere else. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Whiskey Guy, I think, is my new like candidate for best unit, by the way. Like him and Olan feel extremely good.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of how Whiskey Guy works because you drink you don't have like a basic attack. You just drink, which boosts your drunkenness and boosts your attack, which boosts like your TP moves. And all
Mhm.
of his TP moves are like actually pretty good because one of them is gasoline, which makes the opponent flammable, and then the other ones are like just really high damaging drunken tumbles, and then another one just heals everyone in the party for like 400. It's kind of crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so I replaced when as soon as I got him and I tried him out, I replaced Terry. Terry is retired. um, what the fuck else? Oh yeah, Tiger Man is interesting in that his attack seems pretty strong. But I don't know, his HP is like kind of low, and he also suffers from joy withdrawal, which makes him
Mhm.
a little lame. Like I still like using him, but it just sucks that I now have half of my party who's out of commission whenever that's active, compared to
Yeah.
just a quarter.
Is fish guy good?
What?
Harvey
Fish.
Alabaster.
What?
Fish.
Oh. Oh,
I don't.
wait, you said the fish guy is good?
I haven't tried him.
I haven't tried him either.
I haven't
Aaron,
tried him, by the way.
did you use fish guy?
I haven't tried him, but I'm pretty sure he's like decent, pretty good.
Okay.
Like just generally a solid guy.
Okay.
Is the fucking truck guy good? Because I was tempted by his level when I picked him up, but I was like,
Up
his
guy.
skills seem like ass.
The only good thing he does is truck slam, which basically hits every enemy on the screen. So if you're facing a lot of
Okay.
enemies, he's good. But it's also
Yeah,
kind of.
that sounds all right.
But and he also can't do anything else.
Oh, okay. He has one move.
You know, it'll get stronger eventually.
Right, right. And then Beastborn was a really solid unit. I just eventually replaced him because I got the Tiger guy, and I was like, the Tiger guy seems better. Because
Mhm.
like Beastborn's really bulky, he has a lot of HP, and then his whip is just like really strong for some reason. Like
Yeah.
he was out damaging pretty much everyone I had with his normal attacks.
Did you know something funny is that the tiger guy when you fight him, he's weak to animal type, so Beastborn's attacks are super effective against him.
Yeah, yeah, I did notice that when I was fighting him. I was like, that's weird. Why is that his weakness? So yeah, I mean that's all I had to say about like units and combat. I'm still really enjoying combat in this game. It's just like I don't know. I forgot. There was this one fight, which I'm sure is in my notes somewhere that I'll get to, um, that I was like, wow, this is a fucking fucked up fight. I couldn't do shit. But anyway, so after I was done backtracking, I got to the rest of the game, I guess. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I found this one guy. I forgot where, but he's like, "Do you want to buy my book? Trust is for suckers, or something, for like
Yeah.
15 mags." And I was like, "Okay, sure, why not?" And then he's just like, "You fucking dumbass, leave my home now."
Wow.
And I thought that was funny. And then I got to the construction area, and are the barrel bros like people?
It's best not to think about it too much.
No,
Because
that's
like,
APT.
well, I mean, we have seen like mutants
Yeah.
before in this game already,
I mean, there was that
and
guy in like the first area. He's like this abomination. He just does like 900 damage the first time you find him, and it's just what the hell?
That's a guy in the demon
yeah,
costume.
what?
That's a guy in the demon costume.
Okay, okay, dude.
Oh, Demon X. Wait, you fought Demon X?
I think so. It was it's a guy near a barrel in like one of the early areas.
Yeah.
We would have covered it in the last episode.
Yeah, he's
Mhm.
talking about the green hair guy.
Yeah.
Also, Fiora is playing on pain mode.
What?
Yeah.
I was playing mode. I have swapped for the record, and
Oh,
I am on a different playthrough and catching up from that one.
okay.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, why the fuck would you play on pain mode? Dude, I abuse save points like a
Because I'm
motherfucker.
a masochist. Like, why do you think it's called pain mode?
Okay.
Base.
Okay.
Actually, that's cringe, I'm afraid.
It is. It is.
Um,
Yeah, no, I abuse the save points like a motherfucker. I literally whenever I pass by one and I'm like, damn, I need to rest soon, I just save, and then if bad shit happens, I just reset. Oh, that reminds me actually. Okay, so I don't know if this will resonate with you guys, but the fucking theme for when you rest sounds extremely similar to FNAF 6 Pizzeria Simulator when you complete a night. The jingle that plays, they're very similar.
Okay.
right.
It's just like this trumpet, and it's all like, "Yay, you get to rest."
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh yeah, I got like jump scared by a bush.
Oh yeah,
Incredible.
the ambush. The
Absolute.
ambusher.
The ambusher, that's its name.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell. Yeah, so like, when I beat that guy, why did he start singing Crossroads?
Crosscode records.
What?
Like, I beat the bush guy, and I forgot the name of this or the who made the song. Hold on. Yeah,
Can you hum it?
he starts singing Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony, a song that came out like 20 years ago.
Can you hum it?
No,
Um,
I will not do that. You can go listen to part of it. Like, I can just cut it out. It's not a big deal.
no, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't think I've ever fought that dude because I just go up the rope.
Oh, does he just disappear if you if you go up the rope?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. But yeah, no, I beat him and he just starts like bumping out the song lyrics and I was just like, I recognize that. What the fuck? And then I looked it up and it's like, yeah, this 15, 20-year-old song.
Oh,
Um
crazy.
and
Yes.
then I found the disco house, the guy with the disco ball. And
Mhm.
I walk in and I immediately like I wish I had a recording of this experience. It's like I walk in, I see him dancing, I immediately walk out, and then I just like break into laughter because I'm like, what the fuck did I just encounter? Because you walk into this house and he's like fucking grooving out to this music. He's wearing like it's not even a disco ball. He's just like wearing a completely opaque helmet, and he's just grooving. And there's nothing to do in that house. until you complete the area, and then you come back and he's fucking hanged himself. Dude, I was so sad. I thought that was gonna be a potential party member. I was like, I want the fucking disco guy. What the hell?
You could have taken the disco guy with you.
I couldn't. If you
You know,
try talking to him, nothing happens.
fun fact about that guy, that's the self-insert of one of the personas of the game developer.
Wow.
He's like, yep,
This
this is me. This is what I would do.
What?
What?
Honestly, I gotta respect it.
Respect what?
If you were in the apocalypse, would you do this?
Would I
Hang myself?
dance in my house and then kill myself?
Yeah.
What?
No, I would probably just skip right to the part of killing myself if that was already on the table.
Okay.
Like, what good is the dancing gonna do me?
He was going kind of hard though. You can't even lie.
If I'm happy enough that the dancing feels fulfilling, then I'm happy enough that I shouldn't kill myself.
Do you know how anything works ever?
What do you mean?
I'm.
What do you mean?
I mean, is it like a? Do you even understand the utter joy of the self destruction of continual disco dancing for hours on end, right before
I don't know if
its
you know what you're
culmination
saying.
to suicide.
This is where I baseball you.
True. True. I don't think you know what you're saying. I think you're just stringing together words in hopes that it means something
I
at the
have
end
the
of it.
soundboard. I'll do it. I will fucking use the soundboard. Don't test me. Don't test me.
You know what? What you just said, Robert would baseball you?
It'll be fun.
Fiora, you are cutting out quite a lot. Aaron, what you just said, Robert would baseball you, and I would play the nerd sound effect.
Right.
I
I'm sorry, Fiora, you are still cutting out quite badly.
damn it.
Weirdly enough, that came out completely clearly.
Yeah.
My mic wants me to be cuter. I guess.
I guess. Anyway, yeah, I wanted to recruit the disco guy, and then he just fucking dies, and we steal his magazines. Was that based or cringe?
Zace.
Do you think he
Okay.
was backing off
Do you what?
because he had the magazines?
He was dancing.
Like at some point.
Well,
It was
obviously
gr-
at some
It was
point.
cringe. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Bringe.
Yeah.
And then yeah, a similarly funny moment happens after you encounter the disco guy for the first time, where you find like a surprise guy, and it's so funny because he's literally just standing there, and like I think you can just walk past him. I don't know, but I went out of my way to interact with him, and then he kicks you in the balls, and he's like, "Got you by surprise," and it's like you were just standing there. I could see you. I like, chose to come talk to you. There's not much of a surprise involved. And then like afterwards you're able to enter a fight with him and you just immediately kick him in the balls and that's the only thing that happens.
The groin, my only weakness.
Right, yeah. I think this game has a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Especially because like soon after that it's in the Barrel Bros area, you go down like this long rope and this guy's like, yo, I have this race that you can do. You have to go get
Oh,
the
that.
goal past all these rolling barrel bros, and if you get hit by any of them, you lose. You have to restart. And it's like, okay, but the platform where you talk to him is positioned so you can just fall off the platform right to where the goal is. And if you do that, the guy's like, you think you're real fucking clever, huh? Trying to pull a fast one on me, and then he kicks you out of the race. And and I think that's really fucking funny, but I do wish it would just let me cheese the race like that. I think that would be funnier if the guy's just like, "Oh, man, I forgot you could do that." And then you win.
Do you ever try to do the race the correct way?
No, as soon as he didn't let me choose it, I decided there's no way it was worth engaging with.
That's
What do you even get if you do it?
you get like some lurky.
Really? You're joking.
No, I'm not joking. But you
That's
have to do it
lame.
really fast.
That's lame.
Incredible.
Like I think my best time is like 17 seconds.
Wow, that's really fast.
Thank you.
I was gonna make a joke. Never mind.
Right.
And then I think at the end of the construction area, or like towards the middle of it, we encounter the building that has the guy that they are sexually abusing.
Uh-huh.
Um, and like there's some dialogue that's pretty fucked up about it. It's like the exact quote I pulled was that they're letting people take turns, no
Yeah.
charge. And before we know that it's just some guy, which, and by the way, it being just some guy doesn't make it okay. But before we learn that, we're supposed to think it's the girl we're looking for, who again is a child.
Yeah.
So extremely fucked up. There's a group of guys outside of the building that are like desperately trying to break in, and that was honestly like the first thing I encountered in this game that was like genuinely upsetting to me. I did not like the visual or the dialogue of those guys like desperately trying to get in to, molest this like child.
Hmm.
Do we ever get her age? Because I just keep like instinctually thinking that she's 9, but I don't think we're ever told.
I feel like she's 9 as well. That's what I keep on getting.
Yeah, are we
Her
ever
age
told,
is like
Aaron?
never given. We're never told. But like
Oh,
it is
okay.
I thought it was
recognized.
11.
What was that, Robert?
I thought it was 11.
No way.
Um,
9/11.
What?
oh my
Oh
God,
my
you can't
god.
say that.
I think 9/11.
Okay. Oh yeah, this segment has a lot of cutscenes. I forgot to mention that. Um, I don't know if like the little girl we keep seeing in them is Lisa. I'm going to just call her Lisa though
Mhm.
until I'm proven otherwise, because it's just convenient to call her that.
It is Lisa.
Oh, okay, okay. So
I thought her name was Buddy.
Buddy's the girl
no,
he's looking for. This is the girl he sees
yeah,
during visions. They're different people.
What?
yeah,
Lisa's the girl where you can't see her eyes, and she's like wearing this white dress.
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
those were the
So
same people.
no,
Okay.
sorry, I was drinking water. Anyway, yeah. I walked into a few. I don't really remember exactly what happened in a lot of them. I know that one of them is like you walk into an area and you see Rick,
Hmm.
and Brad's trying to buy drugs from him, and Rick is just like, "No, dude, something's off about you. I don't like your vibe right now. I'm not selling you anything." And Brad's just like, "Bro, don't be like that, bro. You're being so lame right now. Give me the drugs." And Rick's just like, "No." And then you leave. And then there's another one where you walk into a cave and Lisa has hung herself, and she's like, "Why did why did you not care for me as much as you did her?" or something like that. I don't remember exactly. And I don't know. That one was the weirdest one of the ones I remember, because it's like you don't. I don't know. I feel like it spells out something that was sort of already obvious to me, at least, like that presumably Lisa and or like presumably Brad feels guilty about how he's treated Buddy because of Lisa in some way.
Hmm.
So it just sort of that cutscene sort of solidified that. But there's a few other spots where she just is kind of there and she doesn't say anything, but she's just watching.
Yeah.
Like like the scene where you find Rick and he punches you, so you chain him to a pole and beat him to death. Like when you walk into that area, she's just on a cliff there, you know. Um, and I don't really
Yeah.
know what we're supposed to infer from that, because when I first saw her, my thought was like, oh, so this is like also a cutscene or slash flashback, you know? But like, no, that segment did really happen. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure what to make of the fact that like we had a vision of Lisa there at the beginning of the area.
I feel like it's meant to like be like partially hallucinatory and partially like metaphorical. Like he feels like he's being watched by her.
Okay. Um, I think that makes sense, but then my question would be like, if he feels like he's being watched, I mean, when he's beating up Rick, like the the area like changes. It flashes to like this weird like red where the sky also looks like it has like veins and shit.
Mhm.
And we're supposed to be taking that as like Brad not like controlling his rage well, not controlling his emotions as well as he should have. But
Mhm.
um but like if that's the case, I feel like we're supposed to presume that Lisa wouldn't want him to act that way. So I don't know if it's like an intentional story choice that like he just loses control anyway.
Well,
I
we
don't
don't
know.
know much about Lisa as a character at this point, besides the
That's
fact that he
true.
like feels angry, like vengeful at Brad towards Brad.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um yeah, there's a and then there's one cutscene where like we're at this guy's house and it's really weird. He's like playing house with a bunch of other guys, and he has one that's like his wife who definitely fucking hates him, and he has like this guy who looks older than him who's playing as the son, and then you like talk to him in the backyard or something, and he's just like, "Dang, my life kind of sucks" or something, and he's like jealous of Brad if I remember right. And
Mhm.
that one was really confusing to me because I was like at first I thought it was pre-Flash, and then the kid comes down, and I'm like, oh wait, these are all guys. So it's these guys playing characters. What the hell? But it's played straight for so long that like I had no idea what to make of it. And Lisa also appears in that cutscene,
That's
so I was so
pre-Flash, by the
confused.
way. Like the wife is a woman.
Oh, okay. So what's the deal with the son then? What what's the deal with him?
Um, Robert was
Is there
saying
no
they're doing a bit. The thing
huh?
with his son is that like I guess it's implied that like his wife is just cheating on him with some other guy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Lol. Why?
Yeah, Robert is saying they're LARPing. That's what I presumed when I thought it was all guys, because I like couldn't actually tell. Um, and then we keep seeing in this segment like occurrences of men meant to play as sexual objects in place of women.
Hmm.
And I don't know. In my notes, I don't have something like super thought out about that, but I think it is like important to bring up. It's obvious that the story wants us to pay attention to that, I think. Especially because, like we said, there's that guy who is like just essentially being sexually abused by a bunch of other guys, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. I think the very surface level interpretation is like, oh, it's a commentary on um what masculinity ends up looking like when there's no predetermined like group of people meant to play as the victim to masculinity.
Hmm.
Because like normally that group of people as intended victims would be women, but now there are none.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we do see men who are more or less willingly choosing to not like exactly take on that role because like as you said last episode, this game
Hmm.
doesn't really acknowledge trans people, and even when
Hmm.
we encounter cross-dressers and such, I don't think we're meant to read any of them as trans women.
Hmm.
Um, because they seem to all be like treating it as like a job and such, you know?
Yeah, and they like still like have like facial hair and stuff, even though it's acknowledged that razors are difficult to find.
Yeah. And so like it's also interesting that we see people like that, men like that who choose to emulate um that role. And we also
Hmm.
encounter like this group of guys who are just sitting around a table and another guy is like being a stripper and stuff. And it doesn't seem like any of them are unwilling participants in that
Hmm.
interaction. Um, and I don't know. I think it's all really interesting. I'm not really quite sure what to make of it as of right now. I mean, the first part of it seems pretty obvious to me. Like, yeah, when masculinity runs rampant and there's no one to really challenge it, then it has to find new victims to enact its wrath, I guess. Um, and if there are no women, then its new victims will be whoever are viewed as the weaker men, hence the
Hmm.
truck guy. But I don't know what exactly I'm supposed to take from the amount of men that are played straight but are willingly like emulating these roles because it's not exactly something that they need to do. Like it seems like there are a good amount of ways to obtain mags in this world, so they don't like need to do that. So I guess like the question is why? Especially because I feel like none of the crossdressers we meet are even like played as gay men either.
Hmm.
Like maybe they are and I just missed it as a straight guy, but I don't know. I didn't get that vibe either. So I don't know.
Maybe they're
Robert,
there to trap people, as in to just basically to fool them into thinking that maybe the flash didn't happen.
um, I don't see what the utility in that would be.
Yeah, like their need to exist in society is already well established, of course.
Who is they here?
The crossdressers.
Oh, yeah,
Like there's definitely a high demand.
yeah. Which I guess you could also spin that and say that interesting commentary on sexuality and flexibility.
Hmm.
But I don't know when because you can work as a crossdresser, which I did do. Um,
Hmm.
wildly uncomfortable experience, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
you know, which I guess I should have expected as a straight guy. But I don't know. I feel like the game does go out of its way to make it uncomfortable. But like all the people you serve as clients there, at least the ones I did, none of them seem particularly happy about doing it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the way that I read it is that they act like smokers, you know, but like
Hmm.
ones who know they have a problem. So like this is something that they feel like they need to do and they're not really happy about it or looking forward to it, but it's like they're still there.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't even remember why I brought that up. Oh yeah, commentary on sexuality, fluidity, whatever.
Yeah.
Robert, what did you think about that segment?
He's muted.
I'm aware.
He says,
Just thought it was for sanity. Mm, I don't know. I mean, you could be right. I guess I don't buy that. Like, I don't know. In terms of requiring sexual release or whatever, it's like I guess I don't buy that they would require it this way to maintain sanity unless they were gay. And even then, it's like they don't really require it. It's just like that is an avenue available to them. It's like I don't know. Like I don't think that like I guess you hear a lot about like sexual abuse in like prison or whatever, and those are like single gender only, right? But I don't
mhm,
really buy that that happens because of like necessitating like relief via another person. Would I think it's more likely that it's more about like establishing power dynamics and stuff because I guess that's what I would expect of people who are in jail who would act that way. Like I feel like that's a much simpler explanation rather than like necessitating it because I think that most people would be able to take care of themselves well enough and it's like it's a lot less fulfilling, but how could it be less fulfilling than relief via someone you aren't attracted to like in any way? Not even just like you think they're ugly, but like your body literally would not respond to them on a fundamental level, you know?
mhm.
So I don't know if I buy the sanity thing, but I guess maybe that's what is intended, and I'm just like
Yeah,
I
it
don't agree with it.
helps prop up the facade of heterosexuality, even if not the actual institution.
Institution of heterosexuality.
Yeah.
What an interesting phrase. Um, all right, moving on. Oh yeah, I found the boss fight I was talking about. I said got owned by the gang many times, in fact. I don't
Oh yeah.
remember what I don't remember who the gang was.
The gang was those guys who ambushed you
That you got to be more specific.
after you exit that one town. There's
You
like
are
five
terrible at
dudes.
this.
You know what I mean?
After
They
you
like
exit
ask
the
you
town.
for all your money, and if you don't pay up, they go after you. And there's five dudes.
Mm, I thought that happened in part one.
No, that happens part two.
Okay. Yeah, I got owned by them. I used diesel fire bombs to win. I was glad I had
Oh yeah, the
those.
fire bombs are good.
Fire bombs are kind of crazy. It's a shame they're so limited. Or well, no, it's good balance that they're so limited. But I want to be able to own everyone.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then I got ran over by like this group of people in a truck, so I reset. And then I avoided it by just going down a rope, and that was funny. I don't know where those guys even went, because there was definitely a cliff on the other side of the screen. I think we're meant to assume that they died,
Yeah.
which is awesome, but yeah.
It's awesome. It is awesome.
And then there's a guy who tries to rush you, and he just fucking falls. So you enter the fight, and he just can't do anything because he's fucking fallen. It's
He
awesome.
falls in such a silly way too. Like both of his legs are in the air.
Yeah,
That
that's a
doesn't make
Family
any
Guy
sense.
fall.
A Family Guy fall.
And then yeah, the knife guy, I got jump scared by that. There was someone beating a dead guy to death. Like his head was literally just pulverized. I tried to get to that guy, couldn't figure it out.
In fact, if you
Um,
rest in that area, the guy who's beating him up is also dies.
if you what?
If you rest there.
Whoa, that's crazy. I guess I just didn't rest there because I don't. Yeah, that guy was still beating that guy to death, or not
Mhm.
to death, in death, being a dead horse, but a human beating a
Yeah.
dead guy. Um, yeah. So that scene with Rick where we're beating him up, or not? Was it beating him? Oh yeah, beating him up because he's like he just
Mhm.
calls us like a bunch of names, and one of them is addict. And I was wondering if that cutscene changes if you use joy. Does it?
No.
Okay. Then
Brad will still lie and say he's clean, and Rick will not believe him.
okay. Then I have two criticisms of the game now because I think you add a lot by like making it so dialogue changes dependent on it. Because I don't know. I feel like the game is trying to say something about the fact that there's a drug that your character is addicted to that's literally called joy, and if you are suffering from withdrawal from it, you can't really do shit. Like, and it's the apocalypse. I feel like that's supposed to be something like metatextual,
Mhm.
but if it is, then I think it's pretty lame that there's a bunch of dialogue that references its use that doesn't change dependent on how much you're using it.
There is some. This just isn't one of them.
Okay, that's fair. That does lessen my dislike of this feature, but I still think that the two instances so far where I've specifically noted or asked if this change is dependent on it, I think those should be included.
Mhm.
Like, I don't I don't see the point in doing it in such a way where it's like
Mhm.
it doesn't. I guess in this one, there's something that you understand metatextually if you've been using Joy, because now you just see Brad lying compared to in my playthrough where I haven't used Joy at all. It's just like Brad telling the truth, and unfortunately, someone just not believing him.
Mhm.
Uh, and maybe there's something to be gained from that, but I feel like it's not very effective as like a storytelling moment.
Mhm.
My second criticism of the game is that character death so far has felt incredibly forced and uh contrived.
You mean like the
Like
Russian roulette part?
that and the part with what was that guy's name? The one who
Also?
accessed to cut off his arm. Yeah, yeah, that. Both of those feel incredibly like the best way I can put this, and I wish it didn't sound this way because it sounds like I'm like trying to be extra mean about it, is that
Mhm.
it's like I'm reading a book that has a point about like how the world's all like grim and dark, and the way that the author shows it because it was written by a 14-year-old was that characters just drop dead for no discernible reason, like repeatedly.
Hmm.
And that's how it feels so far, because it's like the characters who are able to die, yes, it is tied to my decisions, but only in the sense that I was literally put into a spot where my decision decides their life. That doesn't feel like a natural consequence of my decisions up until that point. It's like
Hmm.
the difference between, oh man, I lost a lot of money because I made a bunch of bad financial decisions and I'm bad at saving and stuff like that, compared to, oh man, I lost a lot of money because I got robbed.
Hmm.
And so like if the take from this is supposed to be like, yeah, your character deaths, they matter, they're your fault or whatever, then I think it's pulled off incredibly poorly.
Yeah, I would
Because
agree with
making
part of the roulette. Or I feel like the part with Buzzo is less bad because you can choose to give up your arm instead.
yeah. Well, I would say it's less bad in relation specifically to character death. I would say it's equally bad in reference to making it feel like your choices have weight and consequences.
Hmm.
Because it's still like ultimately the same thing. It's not like you made a decision XYZ in this situation a few like parts ago, a few scenes ago, and now the consequences have been piling up, and because of that you lost your arm. It's getting robbed. Like it's like, okay, so you just no matter what you do, there's no point in which you can avoid having to face a decision where uh it's cut off your arm or have this guy die, you know?
Hmm.
And like I guess it's something that's been a pet peeve of mine with apocalypse stories in general, because I don't buy that in a world with no law that this is like a real situation or decision you'd have to face, where someone would actually just be like, haha, I'm gonna I really like killing people, and I really like making people hurt themselves, so cut off your arm or this guy dies.
Well, Buzzo
Like,
is kind of an exception.
yeah, I guess
Like
that's fair.
as you'll see later, he is like not your usual character.
Yeah, I mean I could pick up on that much so far, but I guess that's fair.
Yeah, the roulette guy is like he like I agree that the roulette is like not very well designed part of the game. Um because like you just like it's like cruel but like not like not direct. I don't know, it's like very hard to explain how I feel about this, but it's impersonal, I guess. Like
Yeah,
it's like you feel very detached from it all.
right, yeah,
Especially because like you're gonna sacrifice the characters that you haven't been using.
right, yeah. But yeah, it's like, so yeah, like I was saying, I don't buy that that's like a decision you'd have to really make. Um, like obviously, I guess you could, but I'm not buying that your average that most people would ever have to face that. So the fact that we do is like, it throws me off. It like suspend it fucks with my suspension of disbelief. And even if you could convince me that that is like a decision that you would naturally be forced to make. I think storytelling wise, it works much better to have it be like the actual consequences of choices that the characters don't really think about all that much because they don't think they'll matter, and then they do end up mattering.
Yeah.
Like like honestly, I guess that's part of why I like HPMR so much because it does that a lot. There are a few times where some characters are faced with like a sort of contrived situation where they must make a decision, but it's never like something that the author intends for you to take as seriously as losing a limb or having someone die. And
Mhm.
so when the bad stuff does happen, it's like, well, it happened because a few chapters ago Harry or Hermione or whoever made this decision, and it led it into this chain of decisions that they made that led to them being in a really rough spot right now.
Mhm.
And I appreciate that a lot more in storytelling. So, like, it's definitely my biggest criticism of the game so far, where both instances where it was like, oh, you have to make a decision now, it feels like the game is trying to make me feel like my decisions have consequences, but it's showing me that in like the worst way possible.
Mhm.
On that note, when I got to the Buzzo part, I stared at my game for 10 to 15 minutes, and then closed it and decided to go to sleep because it was asking me if I wanted to lose an arm or lose Olan, and I was not able to make that decision.
Yeah.
So I went to sleep, and then I woke up, and then I had an epiphany, and then I killed the wife guy.
Beast.
I was like, the flash is your fault. My arm is more valuable. And if I'm being real, he was also like the least useful party member I had at the time, and it seemed like it would hurt me way more in the long run to not have an arm. So
Hmm.
I killed the wife guy. How did you roll that? It's not a roll, it's always your second party member. Yeah, Robert was asking how did I roll that guy. I just changed my party. It was literally a hunch too. I was like, Olan is my second party member. What if I just put someone else in that slot? And I put the wife guy there. And then it was like, oh, kill this guy or take your arm off. And I was like, well, who am I gonna kill? The guy who started the apocalypse and also is a massive misogynist? Or my arm? Pretty easy decision. Pretty easy decision when you put it that way. And then in Russian roulette, I just got lucky. None of my guys died, so
Oh yeah, okay. Average.
yeah. But I did put Farty up to bat, or it might have been Percy, one of those two. I put those guys up, and all of them just lived. It's kind of crazy. I thought that was scripted. I thought your first time none of them could die.
No, that is not true.
Right? Do you want to tell us your story?
Yeah, I literally got a game over because all my guys died to Russian roulette. Like, because you have to win 3 rounds. And I just wasn't winning any rounds.
Yeah,
Average football
average.
player.
True. So yeah, I just I reloaded the game. I went in. I lost like 3 guys, I think, but I did make it through eventually.
Nice, nice. Who did you lose?
I think I lost like I want to say it was like Olan.
Oof,
Uh, I think also wife guy and
based.
um, hmm, and I think that's all. Or I no, I think someone else. Like
Yeah, you just said three.
maybe I lost Terry there.
No, no. Low key, I kind of want to see how long I can keep Terry alive. Just because of the fact that Robert killed him immediately, I kind of want to see how
Yeah,
long I can keep him around. Even if I don't use him, like he'll be there.
yeah, he's your friend.
He's helpful. Um, fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we encounter Rando after this, I think.
Oh
After
yeah,
Russian Roulette.
Brando.
I think this is the first time we see him. He's a interesting guy. I don't know. The game tells us that as he walks past, he sees us crying, and he seems like a nice enough dude because he's like, "Sorry for destroying your motorcycle." Yeah, we get a motorcycle before this segment, and we have
Mhm,
to do like a weird platforming section, and then we immediately lose the motorcycle because we run into Rando, and it just fucking breaks.
mhm,
Um, so he's like, "Yeah, sorry about that. Here, have 8 rations." And then he walks past us, and the game says that it looks like he's crying under the mask. It does not
mhm,
elaborate on that. So like, we're gonna learn more about Rando eventually. I guess he's like a soft guy, probably not a good guy, but like a soft one. And then we have to do like a mini boss because all of his workers are like, we need those rations. Rando's too nice. You're a piece of
mhm,
shit. You don't deserve his kindness. And then they try to kick your ass, but then you kick their ass because you're goaded.
mhm.
I don't know. That was a fucking weird segment. Oh wait, no. I think that was before Russian roulette. I don't remember.
No, I think
I
it's
think
after.
okay.
No, it might be before. You're right.
Yeah. You see a crazy dude who just says thou art God and then nothing else.
Yeah,
That guy stuck with me.
yeah, that guy's cool.
Um, and then there's another guy who shows up, makes a joke, and then kills himself in front of you. Is that
Wow.
just a feature of every part we're gonna play through?
Um, yeah, there's some of that stuff.
Robert says he was doing a bit.
Oh, come on.
He was doing a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of inarguable. And then after that, we see the Power Rangers, and that was a funny scene. Like they're all trying to like fight this one dude, and then one of them's just like, "Yo, I'm super hungover. I can't do this shit right now," and then he just
Always listen to
leaves.
dad, even if he's been drinking. Don't pay for drugs. Let your friends do that.
That's such a good line. Let your friends do that.
Mhm.
Um, and then yeah, and then you fight the guy, and they're just like, "Thank you, but next time, leave it to the heroes." And they didn't even do anything. I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about.
Uh,
And then I get to the hub, and I climb the Tower of Babel.
yeah.
For context, there's a place in the hub where there's a rope going up, and it says "very important" above, and then you climb it, and you climb for 2.5 minutes straight. And when you get to the top, there's just a statue with a middle finger. So yeah, that was
Of
fun.
course.
I knew there was gonna be some fuck shit up there. I'm like, there's no way you make a climb this long and it's not for a joke. I just expected it to be a bit more nuanced than a statue of a middle finger. My mistake. I forgot what game I was playing.
You know something really funny is that the sequel in Joyful, there's another tower that's just like that. And like there's like an actual like area up there. Like there's like bottles and stuff you can pick up. There's like terrain you can navigate. And then there's this note that says like "Thank you for everything." So then you move on to the next screen, and there's another middle finger.
That's hilarious. That's awesome.
And then this one fan game, um, like hopeful. There's like there's this tower, and at the top there's a middle finger, and there's this with this note that says, "I really hope this isn't your third time, because if it is, you need some help."
Incredible.
Wow.
It's just like, I guess, yeah, that's fair, because why would you do it the third time? But also, it's like, this is a different game. I want to see if you do the
Yeah.
same bit or not.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so yeah, I got a cat guy. I don't even remember picking up the cat guy.
Oh yeah.
Then yeah,
The
I got the
Redditor.
drunk guy, who seems pretty strong. Uh, I'm a big fan of drunk guy. He is a staple. I do have a question though. So when Brad does fireball, can it not set people on fire? Because I kept making people flammable and then not setting them on fire.
Oh yeah, we went over this before. Flammable doesn't increase the fire set ratio, it just makes them weak to fire type.
That's cringe. That's cringe. I want to set them on fire. Robert says covert cloak.
You can do
I'm
like
not explaining that.
if you have like a that has good fire moves, you can do like huge damage with the fire weak thing.
All right. That reminds me though, the reason that I think Olan is still super good, because I thought he would like kind of fall off, is that poison arrow is like low-key broken. IMO, it seems like the poison damage is completely dependent on the HP of whoever you're fighting rather than the initial damage of the shot itself. So there was one time I did poison arrow, I did like 150, got the poison, turn was over, it did like 3,000.
Oh yeah, poison's really good against like guys with a lot of HP because it does like fix damage. Like it damage skills with their HP.
Yeah, so that's why Olan did not fall off and why I was like struggling so hard to decide whether to kill him or not. Because I was like, this has saved me against so many of the fights I've been in so far.
Robert says we're gonna blue flare.
What the fuck does that mean?
I know what it means. He was referencing like the gasoline strategy with like a dedicated strong fire move teammate.
Huh? What? Is this a Pokemon thing?
Yeah,
Okay,
you would get it.
okay. Um, so yeah, then we get to the part where we kill a bunch of construction workers because we ride a tractor, and
Yeah.
then we find this guy who's also riding a tractor, and we go through like a bunch of flashbacks that he has about his dad calling him a failure and telling him to never drive a tractor because he's fucking awful at driving or something. And then he like gets his diploma in tractor driving, and the guy who's giving it to him is like, "Here's for Morris Stinkle, and his name is Horace Stinkle, and the guy's just like, hey, my name's not Horace Stinkle. There's a typo here, and the guy who's giving it to him is just like, oh, close enough. And then Horace leaves, and then this guy walks in, and he's like, hi, I'm Morris Stinkle.
Did you catch on to like the other guy,
What do you mean?
who he is?
He's Morris Stinkle?
No, like you've seen him once before in this game.
What? No, I didn't. I didn't catch on at all.
He's the guy from the orphanage.
Dude! No! You're fucking joking.
I am
Fucking
not
joking. Is that the most traumatic event?
Yes, that's the worst thing that happened to him. Not getting his
Oh
bulldozer driver
my
diploma.
fucking god.
And then
Oh
having
yeah, it's a
kids die is the
bulldozer.
second worst thing.
Oh my fucking god. I can't believe this shit. No, I did not pick up on that at all. I'm actually really bad at paying attention to character names that aren't like party members. Like when you said that Bush guy was called the Ambusher, I was like, I didn't even fucking know that.
Yeah, to be fair, he never gives you his name before.
Oh, then how are you? Oh, is it just a sprite? I guess I didn't
Yeah.
notice a sprite.
Uh-huh.
Damn, I can't believe this. Man, and then oh yeah, and then fucking bulldozer guy. I am sorry for having repeatedly called it a tractor. I don't know why that was stuck in my head. It's a bulldozer. Bulldozer guy fucking killed his wife. Which reminded me that I keep forgetting. Apparently, the Flash did not really happen that long ago. Because like there's a bunch of people with like living memories of women, and they don't seem to be terribly old. You know, it's not like we encounter like guy with gray hair in a rocking chair talking about his beloved wife. We see Nern, who seems like he's like 30 years old, maybe 40. And then, you know, Bulldozer guy, who seems to be in the same age range. So yeah, I keep forgetting that the Flash was not that long ago. But that actually does remind me. I meant to say this guy, the creator of this game, is has some interesting decisions whenever he's spriting a character. Like there are some characters that whose sprites are like they look pretty normal, and then there's some where they're like just are definitely not human. And I don't mean like we see the mutants. I mean like their faces are not ones that people would have.
Yeah, like there's a lot of like exaggeration.
Yeah. And it exists in contrast to like people like Brad who have pretty normal faces, or like the first dojo guy we see who just looks like younger Brad and hence also looks extremely normal. Um so then yeah, we get the TNT, I had to backtrack for the map. I didn't realize that I was supposed to get that. Um there's like a cave with flesh tendrils in it. Um, and you encounter two really weird things. You encounter one guy who made a doll that he's married to, and if you go interact with the doll, he walks in and is like, "Wow, I can't believe you're cheating," on me," or something. And then the second thing that that cave has that's really weird is you go find like the mutant that is the flesh tendrils, and then you fight him, and then I don't think anything really happens. I don't remember. But yeah, he had a name. Has every single one of these mutants we fought had a name?
He's the only one with the last name.
Oh, okay.
The others just have like one word names.
Okay.
Or just naming convention for mutants in general.
All right. So then I'm gonna assume based on that yes, we are supposed to. I mean, it was kind of obvious to begin with, but yes, these are like former people. Um. So yeah, then we find the fucking gym, I think, and I finally learned the origin of Tower of Power.
Tower of Power, yes!
I saw that and I was like, "Whoa, that's an Aaron thing." She said that before.
Wait,
But I didn't.
where are the two screens then? Where's the light clay? Where's the fact that this log can't even hurt anything?
Like clay in the caves.
guess it's also passive as fuck because. Like, shut up. I guess it's also passive as fuck because. Oh, it's inanimate.
It's inanimate.
Right.
Right.
Right. Anyway, what the fuck was I gonna say? Uh, oh yeah, I don't know what the point of the lifting guys was. I don't think there was anything to do there.
There's this one room where you can like try to lift like a bunch of stuff, and if you do it successfully, you get experience. But that's pretty
Oh
much it.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that seemed like it sucked ass though.
It's better if you do the heavier ones, but those like you can fail them if you don't press the button enough. So I usually stay away from it.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I am fine on doing that. And then I have a note here that says, I think I saw a ghost in the land beyond the shatters. I have no idea what the fuck that means. Any
Okay.
chance you know what the fuck I'm talking about?
What?
Oh, okay, so it's a series of two notes. It says, I think I saw a ghost in the land beyond the shatters. Flashback in the land beyond shatters. Brad teaching the shy kid for free is very sweet. So presumably the land beyond the shatters is wherever this flashback happens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why the fuck I called it the land beyond the shatters.
What does it look like?
I don't remember. I don't remember where this flashback happens. So I am so confused. But yeah, we do have a flashback where Brad is just he's teaching a bunch of kids martial arts, and there's this one shy kid who's been watching, and he's just like, "Hey man, if you want to join, you can. I'll teach you for free. That's fine." That was very nice. I think it was just like I think it was just a moment to show us that Brad has always been like a caring person, which is makes me very curious to see where when we get a flashback of that kind of changing, because Buzzo seems intent on like telling us that Brad is actually a terrible person. Because
Yeah, absolutely.
when you do the cutscene, he's all like, "Have you changed at all? What about this guy? Do you care about him?" And then I guess to Buzzo, I failed that test because I did kill the guy. But part of me kind of doubts that my choice would have really changed his opinion of me later down the line anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really care. I guess if I wanted to be a nerd, I would say right now that Buzzo is the kid that you try to teach martial arts for free, and then he like hates you now for some reason.
That's incorrect.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's a really
figured.
funny thing to say, though.
I figured it was incorrect. I was like, I just came up with that on the spot, and it would be unfortunate if that was actually the case. But like, you know,
Like,
and then I,
at the end, I'll tell you like who everyone is, and you are going to laugh so hard.
What?
oh, is Buzzo like my dad?
No.
That'd be a really funny like reveal.
He is like
He's like
quite a bit younger than you.
he's some guy that like or no, he's my dad because
You had sex with his mom.
he's really
Right.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm gonna explain my dad theory, and then I have another one. So yeah, he's my dad, and he's really upset that we cut contact after he was abusive, and now he's convinced you're a terrible person because he's a narcissist.
Baseball.
Right.
Second theory. You lied. Trans people do exist in this game, and Lisa is Buzzo.
That is actually an even funnier thing to say. I love how you're like 40% right with these.
Buzzo,
40%.
Buzzo is Apollo from Crosscode.
Wow.
Okay, that's 0% correct.
How many percent?
0.
Oh fuck.
I like how you're like kind of onto something, but you're just not quite there.
Am I? Is it from
No,
another game?
Emilio.
Oh.
Nah, yeah, there's no way it's you. You just got told you got a 0.
But like
I
both
was
of
onto
your
something. But she said I was onto something right after.
No, she's talking to me. She just said you had 0.
That's fucked
Like
Why
up.
would she
Amelia.
still be talking to you?
both of your guesses are like Both of your guesses are like they have like some nugget of truth in them, and it's really funny.
Okay, but the only possible nugget of truth there are two possible nuggets of truth in what Robert said. One, this character is from a different game. Two, the character is someone we've seen before, which
Mhm.
aren't useful nuggets of information.
I will say Buzzo is a character you have seen in this segment before.
Right, right. Yeah, I have no real guesses.
So is someone else, but we'll get into that much later.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, moving on.
What if Rick didn't actually die? Like next time we see Buzzo, he'll be like all scarred up and missing an eye or something. Shut up, Robert.
But
He just unmuted and then said dick and muted again.
okay, okay,
Okay.
I get it.
Right.
Right.
And then we get to the segment with the drag queens, and I put here that something I forgot to say earlier. I said I think something the game's trying to get across is that a society without women would further pervert the image of that which is no longer real. What do you think about that?
Yeah,
I
that's
think I
fair.
would be inclined to agree. Like when that, I suppose, sexual necessity in what is a hyper masculine world is just being distorted. It sort of makes, because of its, well, failure of presence, it sort of makes sense as to why it would end like the idea of being a girl would be considerably more sexualized than it is in a world where you would commonly interact with them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. They wouldn't really have meaning as people.
yeah. Which is definitely not how any of the characters we've interacted with have treated the idea of coming across Buddy.
Absolutely.
So that's consistent. Um, and then there's this one guy that you see like in the in the drag queen building, I think, where like
Mhm.
you go into the room and I don't even remember what the fuck he was doing, but like I did note down that when you try to walk away, you leave the room backwards, and I thought that was really funny.
Right.
So he must have been doing some really weird shit. And then yeah, I did work there because I didn't know what that would entail, and I wanted to see. Like I said, I did not enjoy it. It was very weird to have my commands be like caress and whisper, and just imagining Brad doing that to these far uglier guys as well. On that note, Brad in drag is very ugly, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's this one dude, who's one of the clients. He comes in, he's like, a fat bald man? No thanks. And then he just
Yeah,
leaves.
yeah, I got that guy. Are the clients when you do that the first time random, or are they all like the same?
They're all the same.
Oh,
Also, you can.
okay.
Did you finish the thing? Like, sort of all
Yeah,
the
I
things?
did. I went through everyone, yeah.
Like,
Oh, Robert, did you?
did the
Sorry,
game
what?
directly say you've serviced all your clients?
Yes.
I see.
Robert, did you do that? Did you do that segment?
You left halfway. Understandable.
Understandable. See, I'm committed. I wanted to see what would happen. And yeah, there's this one guy who just comes in and asks you to help him figure out a name for his gang, and one of the options is literally Diddle Kids.
Is that the one you
So
chose?
no, I don't remember which one I chose, but I put down don't name your gang Diddle Kids. Also, I think I got a deer.
Oh yeah, the deer. You know who? You've seen that deer before.
What? Where?
You know that guy that hits you with a truck and tries to take Terry? He rides the
Yeah,
deer, and that's the same thing.
dude,
Voice of
dude.
this. Where hath my deer gone? Spaghetti.
Incredible. And then yeah, I went and finished that segment and then got to the uh the fish people.
Oh yeah, the fish people.
Yeah, that was really weird. So like now the game is established, there are multiple types of mutants
Hmm.
as a presumably as a result of the Flash, in general, as a consequence of the apocalypse. Uh,
Hmm.
or maybe we'll learn later that the Fishmen caused the apocalypse. That'd be kind of crazy. But but yeah, so it's established that and yeah, the fish guys all like don't speak. You find one guy who is just a guy dressed as a fish guy and he's like, "Dude, don't say anything. This is the only place where I fit in." And then yeah, so I took the map and then they put me in fucking fish court and then I get the worst lawyer of all time. Like this motherfucker, does he just say the same shit no matter what dialogue options you choose?
No, he says different things depending on what dialogue you choose.
They're all wrong things though, right?
Well, it depends on your perspective, because he does
Shut
get you
up.
out of there.
Yeah, but they're not the things yet you're telling him that you want to say, right?
After the fish court ends, okay, so for people for context, uh, you steal the map, you get sent to Fishman Court, and you get this fish lawyer, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my client is guilty of trying to fuck your mom last night," and then everyone's like, "Oh."
And you get multiple lines like that. There's one where
Yeah,
he's like, "Yeah, my client is sorry. Sorry that I don't even remember." He's like, "Sorry that he didn't kick your ass or some shit like that."
yeah.
And yeah, it's really funny, but I was low-key worried because I was like, "Man, I'm just gonna get fucked now, aren't I? I'm gonna have to fight some fishman boss now because of this dumb fucker." And then we just get let go, and then the guy's like, "Wow, I can't believe that we did that. I didn't understand a single thing they fucking said. We make a great team." And then he just invites himself onto your party.
And you can say no by saying "I hate you." I was wondering if any of you did that.
I was very tempted to, but I was like, "Hey man, I might need some fodder to kill later.
Right.
If I really hate him, then that's a much more effective way of getting that across."
I'm just roulette pays well.
Okay, I don't know about that, but but yeah. Oh yeah. Also, Lisa just like is watching over you in that segment.
Yeah.
Before the fish court, which is
Hmm.
another one of those instances where she's like just there, but you can't interact with her and she doesn't do anything. So it's like, damn, why is she just there? Kind of freaky.
I kind of like it because it serves to break up the otherwise extremely silly tone that the area has. It like takes you back to reality.
I don't know if taking us back to reality is exactly what it's doing, considering that she is a hallucination. But yeah,
But it's like remember who you are and what you're doing, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, that's where I stopped playing. Because I got everything and I was like, oh well, there's nothing more to do in this segment now.
We didn't talk about the dojo.
Oh yeah, I did completely skip over the dojo. So yeah, there's a dojo. That's all you really need to know.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. So yeah, you find this area with a dojo, and all of the people in this area like worship the dojo master. They're like, yeah, this guy's super cool. I'm gonna be just as strong as this motherfucker. And then you go into the dojo itself, and it has like four people in it. You got three practitioners of the dojo who are getting fucked. I think one of them is dead. I wasn't actually
Hmm.
clear, and I didn't really check if he was, but he looks dead as fuck.
Hmm.
And then you have this guy with a tiger head on, and a spear, who has been presumably beating all their asses. So you fight
Hmm.
him. You win because he's formidable, but he's not. He's just one enemy, so
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
you're fine.
He is
Uh,
like very strong.
yeah. And then when you win, you get to recruit him. Uh, and he's a good unit, as I've talked about earlier. Like his spear attacks are pretty strong. Uh, Actually, it's really just that he just has like a abnormally high attack stat. It's not like
Mhm.
significantly higher than everyone else's, like no, not a 50-point jump or anything, but I think it's like when I picked him up, he had like 20 above everyone at
Mhm.
least. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna use this guy. He can suffer from joy withdrawal, which I think says I think it might imply something about his character, as he's the only other unit I've picked up that can also experience it besides Brad.
There are some
But he doesn't.
others, like did you recruit Queen Roger from the Beehive or the Crossdresser area?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, he also suffers from that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't use him. I just recruited him because I was like, more party members is more party members, and I wanted
Yeah.
to see what he did. But I just look at their skills and I'm just like, oh, which do these sound good? No, okay. Unless they're like a pretty high level. That's actually why I initially tried out the drunk guy, because I think you pick him up and he's like level 17 or something.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, and then oh yeah, I forgot to mention before you fight the tiger guy, the dojo master does come back, and everyone's like, "Oh, great, great master, whatever the fuck his name is, please help us," and he just runs away.
His name is Bob.
Bob.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
great.
the dojo. It just has this big text on it that says Bob's Dojo.
Yeah, I just remember that. Yeah. So
It's
yeah,
like,
he runs away, and you can like chase him, but you don't get anything out of chasing him. He's just like, "Oh, I'm just enjoying the landscape," and then you have to go fight the guy.
yeah.
And I don't think it's in this area, but I did forget to mention it. You do find another dojo where there's a guy who will like give you a scroll to like boost your stats and stuff. And he's just like it's actually really funny how he's introduced because he's standing on top of like a tower of barrels and he's like
Mhm.
riding a motorcycle or something. And he jumps off, freezes in the air, and then gives you exposition and then he lands, and then he's like, "Now you must face the trial of patience." And so you just climb up this tower, and you have to wait there for like a minute and a half. And then he's like, "Wow, you did it," and that's all. So yeah, now I think I've mentioned everything that happens.
Mhm.
Thinking about it now, probably don't need you to summarize at the beginning.
Yeah,
If
that's
I'm just
fair.
gonna
We
go
do like
over everything,
mhm. We
or
do
at
go through
least
a lot of
maybe a
that.
more concise summary.
Mhm.
Anyway, Uh, so yeah, I would say overall I had fun with this chunk. I mean, like I found some music that I thought was actually good. I got a bunch of new teammates. I didn't like the Russian roulette or the Buzzo segments.
Mhm.
They kind of tanked my enjoyment for a bit because, like I said, when I did the Buzzo segment, I was at my friend's house and I was playing, and then I just had to like put the laptop down and I was just staring at it for like 5 minutes before she was like, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And then I just show her, and she's like, "Oh, do you need your arm?" And I'm like, "I presume so. I presume that I do. Yes."
I
Uh,
cut off my arm.
wow, what a fucking loser. Sorry, that was uncalled for.
Fuck you.
So yeah, I don't like those segments, but they're a relatively minor blemish on the game so far. I do like that we got some more hints about lore. I feel like they're they did not answer any questions at all though.
That's
Which I
fair.
guess
Yeah.
like I'm not saying it's a bad thing because we're still only like in the second part of this game, so it's still like very early,
Mhm.
presumably, unless you're about to reveal that it's actually only three parts. But
I would say that like we could finish it in like 4 to 5, depending on
four to
like
five.
probably 5, but
All
like
right, yeah.
and then the segments will be shorter each.
So yeah, we're like still in early pre-mid game, so it makes sense that like we're not really getting a ton of answers.
I would say we're
Uh,
about halfway through.
okay.
Actually,
Well,
maybe
it's
not counting
still,
the options, but yeah.
well, I would still say it's like understandable that we're not getting a ton of answers.
Mhm.
Combat is still fun. Uh, Exploration is no longer a pain because I'm fast on the bike.
Yeah,
And I think the best quality this game has is its humor.
that's
It,
fair.
it, like it's a very funny game. I think it's funny in a lot of like stupid ways, which I appreciate. It's like it's not afraid to just be stupid. Robert says he agere. I don't know what that means. I think he's trying to say he agrees.
Yeah, like there's this one line in the dojo where the guy's like, "Oh, I'm gonna master kung fu, or is it karate? Whatever, doesn't matter. It's all the same." And that's just
Yeah.
so fucking funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, wait, actually, I think in the dojo area, there's a guy you can recruit by giving him a plush, right?
um. No, but there is a guy you can recruit by giving him playing cards.
Oh yeah, the magic guy. I don't know. He was like level 10. I was like, wow, what a fucking waste.
Oh, you
200
got him.
mags. Yeah.
He does some funny stuff.
Hmm. Maybe I'll mess around with him in the next segment, but I don't know. I saw he was level 10 and I was all my guys were at like level 16, 17, and I was like, wow, what a fucking waste. But yeah, unfortunately, while I was playing the segment, I did not really notice anything that I would say connects to the other stuff we've talked about. I would say that it's kind of funny that I framed the things we're like looking at and reading and stuff
Mhm,
before as like, oh, you have the two melancholy ones being Lisa and Garden of Words, and then the two more lighthearted, fun ones being HPMOR and Crosscode. But
mhm,
I'd say right now Crosscode and Lisa both have in common the fact that they're like not afraid to just be silly.
mhm.
Like HPMOR, the first segment we did, takes itself a lot more seriously.
That's
Um,
fair.
I think this, I think this next segment is way funnier than the first one.
Mhm,
There's a lot of just really good jokes and interactions in this next one. Like the highlight of the first segment we did is like the interactions between Harry and McGonagall, which
mhm.
are all pretty humorous, but
And
they do
Draco
take on a
Malfoy.
more like, what was that?
And Draco Malfoy.
Right. Well, I wouldn't even say with. Oh yeah, yeah. Never mind. Yeah, with Malfoy as well, and but they all take on like a more serious tone towards the end of it, while a lot of this segment that we're gonna talk about tomorrow is just extremely silly and very fun. It like reminds you that you are dealing with a character in a fantasy world who is in fact a child.
Mhm,
Um, but yeah, like Crosscode and Lisa, at least so far, have been a lot less afraid to just be silly, allow themselves to be silly.
mhm. I will
And
say, this is probably the most lighthearted the game ever gets.
yeah, I was gonna say I am expecting that because like when it comes to HPMOR, like that's going to get a lot darker somewhere around the halfway point. Let me
Mhm,
think. Yeah, around like chapter 60-ish. It does get like serious before then, but I would distinguish between serious and dark.
mhm. That's
And
fair.
then, I expect that Crosscode get will progress similarly as we approach the end parts because it's an RPG and that's what RPGs do.
No, Crosscode stays lighthearted the whole game, actually.
That's fucking lame, actually. Don't joke about that.
Yeah, that's just the way it is.
Okay. All right. Any closing notes on Lisa? We need to figure out an actual outro for these, by the
Uh,
way.
what do you think of Rando? Like, I feel like we kind of glossed over him, but like, what like
Well,
if you had to like develop like a whole like model of his character, what would you say?
well, first I was gonna say the reason that I kind of glossed over him earlier was because I don't think there's really much to say. Like we've only really heard about him from other characters for the most part,
Mhm,
and they all kind of just say the same shit. And then the one time we do see him, it's like a very uh difficult to decipher note that he is crying behind the mask, or at least it looks like he is. Um, I don't know if I had to develop like from what little I have,
mhm,
maybe he was one of the kids that Brad had trained at some point. Or maybe he's just like, as Robert is saying, a random guy, but he also, or not also, but he had a daughter or whatever when before the Flash happened, and then
mhm,
like I don't know, living in the apocalypse and being a leader of like an apocalyptic gang at some point has made him jaded, and maybe that's why he's like crying about the fact that he's become the type of person that will hunt down this child because it is a woman now.
mhm.
Uh, I don't
What do you
know.
think
That
about
those
Lisa?
would be. What do I think about Lisa?
Yeah.
I think that I should not trust anything that I've seen of her so far from Brad's hallucinations and flashbacks.
Mhm,
Um, I don't think we really have like good reason to believe that they aren't very colored by whatever guilt he feels about Lisa.
mhm,
I do feel more like emboldened in my claim from last episode that there is guilt there in relation to Lisa and Buddy and how he
Mhm.
treated either. I don't feel like I'm at any. I don't feel like I'm really any closer to figuring out what the relationship was, except for that like it seems kind of obvious to me that it was familial, if
Mhm.
anything, because I did posit that maybe Lisa was like, his girlfriend or wife at the time, but like she seems like a child, so
Mhm.
I'm leaning towards more daughter, sister, perhaps. Um,
Mhm.
but but yeah, it's like the thing that sticks out for me the most is the scene where we see her hanging herself, and
Yeah.
she's like belittling Brad for how he treated her in comparison to, well, it's not like stated, but it's implied in comparison to Buddy. She does
Yeah.
vaguely use her, but we've only really learned about two female characters in Brad's life so far, so if it is someone else, I don't really have a reason to think it is.
Mhm.
Um, and like that sticks out to me as like something that a character who felt an immense amount of guilt about something would think.
Yeah.
Like if I had to put myself in Brad's shoes and if I walked in on someone who was close to me like hanging themselves like that, and presumably like I was uh I guess treating someone else in my life like with more attention or care or whatever it was, then it would be very difficult to stop myself from thinking that those were the thoughts that they had before their death.
Mhm.
Even if it
Yeah.
was most likely like unrelated, or if it is related, like a smaller factor than I'm going to consider it to be. So Lisa as a character is like very unclear to me. I don't think, yeah, I just don't think Brad is a reliable narrator when it comes to things about Lisa.
Mhm.
Especially because like it's not super clear, but I feel like there is a distinction between when the game is showing us a hallucination and a flashback. And all of the Lisa stuff so far has seemed to be a hallucination, mainly because the reason I think that is like the environment doesn't really change whenever you see her
Mhm.
compared to like when you walk to a screen and it's a flashback. It's like it's very clear that you're in a different area now. There's grass, there's swing sets, there's kids around, or whatever it might be. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, those are my thoughts on Lisa as a character so far.
Yeah.
What about you, Robert?
What do you say?
What are your thoughts about Lisa, the character?
Uh, she's Buddy's twin.
Yeah, hold on, I didn't even think about that. That's actually a solid theory, I think, because that makes Brad's guilt about like potentially giving one more attention and love than the other like feel that makes it way more intense.
Definitely.
That's a interesting theory. Give us a percentage rating, Aaron.
um,
You don't have to, by the way, if
20,
you don't want to spoil. Okay, Buddy's sister.
10.
Oh, Buddy's mom?
Um, 40.
Wow. That's actually higher. I thought I was saying something really stupid. Buddy's grandma. No, I'm kidding.
I
Don't
guess
even
I can
rate that
just
one.
I guess I can just tell you guys like who Lisa like is because like the game doesn't like go out of its way to hide it. So at the
Well, I mean,
start, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say like I'm not against learning, but it's also like I don't know. What is the potential loss of like things to discuss if we learn this now compared to later?
Um, I don't know. It's not exactly like we get more over time to speculate about Lisa. Like she doesn't have a lot more dialogue after this.
Hmm. Okay.
So I'll just say, at the start of the game, in the scene where Brad is a young boy, and he's like walking home, his dad's throwing a bottle at him. Um, you get control over him for a bit, while you're in the house. You don't have to go into your room. There's another room you can go into, and there's a baby in there. That's Lisa.
Oh shit. Oh, okay. Wait, why did you give me such a low rating when I said that was his sister then?
I, I didn't read that.
Oh,
You
you're
said
right. My
Bonnie's
bad.
sister.
I said both.
But yeah, what do you think about that?
All right. All right. All right. Uh, okay. So, Brad's sister, abusive household, older
Hmm.
brother,
Uh
his
huh.
guilt probably related to being unable to protect his sister from the abuse of his father.
Pretty much. Yeah, it isn't like an extraordinarily complex situation. Or I mean, it kind of is because like there's this one other thing going on, but like we probably aren't going to get into that for a long, long time.
All right, I'm adjusting my theory. It wasn't only physical abuse, it was also sexual abuse.
Yeah.
All right. This game, man.
Uh huh.
Dude, I'm really distracted by Robert having posted the A Train GIF in chat.
Fucking A Train.
Yeah, anyway,
Mhm.
you were saying.
Um. Yeah, so that'll like impact the way you like see a lot of a couple like later interactions.
Right,
But there's still
right.
like some stuff that we haven't explained yet, as far as
That
who
makes
everyone
sense.
is and why they're the way they are.
Right, right.
Those being like mostly Buzzo
Yeah, Buzzo's a weird one.
and a couple other characters that like are related to like earlier stuff, but like you don't really know that yet.
Right, right. I might go and like see if I can find a compilation of like the really early cutscenes. Hopefully one that doesn't spoil like future cutscenes too. Just to like
Mhm.
revisit them. Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
this fucking GIF, man. Sorry.
but yeah, in the next episode, in the next chunk, we meet my favorite character. You will know him when you see him.
All right. Always great to hear that. Um,
He is so fucking cool. Like he doesn't show up after this. Like he's not really part of the larger story. He's just really fucking cool.
I see, I see. All right, noted.
And
Um,
yeah, the game just like starts getting more fucked up very quickly.
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna throw out a prediction for how it gets more fucked up, right? You are forced to lose more limbs, and uh, and Buddy doesn't die, but did manage to escape, and is also running away from you, and a bunch of party members either die or try to kill you. That's my guess.
Brad says, "Okay, buddy."
Wow, that's really dark.
God, I fucking I hope we never played Joyful for a reason tangential to what Robert just said.
Oh, does he just say "okay, buddy" a lot?
No, but there's a very specific line where God.
What what is it?
I can't say it now because you just have to experience how fucking jarring it is for yourself.
Uh, you just said we might not play it. Like,
We might, but yeah, your predictions are like pretty good. You understand this game's language,
let's
but
go. I
there's
speak
also a lot
Lisa.
of there's also a lot of stuff that like you didn't get. So
Let's go. I speak Lisa. Oh yeah, I didn't even touch on the mutants. Oh well, they're not important, I'm sure.
there's only one guy you fought this time, right? Henry Wyatt.
Yeah. I mean, no, I meant that I didn't touch on the mutants in my prediction.
Oh, your prediction.
And then that's why I said it's whatever. I'm sure they're not important. All right. Yeah, we should figure out a proper outro eventually.
Da, 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 da,
Stop humming.
da,
Stop.
da.
I had to cut out so much last time.
Fuck you. I'm a musical genius.
Yeah, okay. Are you done?
Fine, I'm done. You're muted. You don't get to say that. If you are, say something funny.
He's gonna say something funny. Now he's staying silent to spite me specific. This is crazy. I didn't realize Fiora was so petty.
He's so cool.
You're just saying that because you don't like me. Robert says it'd be really funny if she tried to say something and cut out again. All right, let me see. Okay, so yeah, we're closing out this episode now. The next recording we will do will be Crosscode and HPMOR.
HPMO.
It is a very, very short segment of Crosscode. We are probably only going to talk about combat again, and I would not be surprised if that is our first episode to be under an hour. But to compensate, apparently the next chunk is supposed to be pretty long, so there's that to look forward to in the future. And then HPMOR is going to be very, very long. We went through another 6 chapters because we upped our word count to 30,000. Um, I'm very excited for that. There are some mysteries afoot that I'm going to challenge you guys to solve. Um, I may not allow Fiora to participate because she might remember what the solution to the mystery is because she has read the early chapters of HPMOR before. There's a lot of funny stuff. We get to meet Hermione, who is a very beloved character. I would be surprised if you guys don't like Hermione. And uh, yeah, just a lot happens. So, keep a lookout. Thank you for listening if you did. I think next time, or no, we don't have a defined chunk for Lisa next time, but it should be in about 2 weeks.
For the record, I think this Lisa chunk, like this is the longest one. Like I won't have like ones that are this long ever again.
All right.
Especially like,
Okay.
if we're doing 5 chunks. If we were doing 4, then I would have to like make the other chunks like longer than this one, which I probably won't do.
Right, right. All right, cool. All right,
Mhm.
say bye, everyone.
Bye
See
everyone.
ya.
Robert didn't unmute because he's a bitch.